Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to a new video. Here I am in Oeiras, Portugal. That's actually where I live, and today I'm heading to Serra da Estrela Mountains. I would like to have some camping experience, and that's why I probably will be sleeping in my rental car tonight, not far away from Serra da Estrela. The car is loaded up already. Not much stuff, actually. Alright, it is time to hit the road. Actually, I have quite a long drive ahead of me. I have reached Covilha. This is a small city at the base of Serra da Estrela. I'm going to have lunch here. Neat and clean little town. For some reason it reminds me of some Central European little towns, like maybe a Swiss town, that kind of thing. So it is actually the middle of November, guys, and as you can see, the weather is fabulous. But actually, previous week we had this Claudia depression or storm. We had lots of rain, and Portugal unfortunately suffered quite significantly from it, from that depression in terms of damages. Well, hopefully I will have good weather for another 2 days. That should cover me. All right, it's time for me to have lunch and then go to the highest point of Serra da Estrela mountain range or mountain massif, whatever you call it. It is getting a bit cloudier, which is typical for afternoons. Okay, let's continue to the top. Well, that's pretty close to the top. The elevation here is at around 1700 meters. Finally, I'm at the top. It is 5 degrees Celsius here. That's why I'm wearing a hat. And I'm a bit aside from the tower, which marks the top, because of some music out there. If YouTube will recognize it, I will get a copyright issue or something. I don't want that. So basically, there is a tower which marks the top of mainland Portugal, and this is the third highest point in Portugal, including islands. Also, there are 2 domes that were used as some radars, I think, and there are some gift shops here as well. Well, as you can see, no snow, absolutely. The first snowfall occurred probably previous week or a couple of weeks ago, but it has melted completely. And throughout winter, well, there is snow cover here probably. It might occasionally melt. But from what I know, you can actually ski here. I've seen a chairlift, something like that, and definitely there are not too many ski pistes or routes. So I mean, if you're an experienced skier, that's not for you probably, but for entry-level skiers, that might be all right. Yeah, I remember here in Serra da Estrela they make good hot chocolate, although this one is made of milk chocolate, not dark chocolate, but still. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, as I mentioned, it is the middle of November, and that means the days are so short now. And for example, the sunset time in Covilhã today is 5:11 p.m. That means that at 5:45, 5:50, it is dark already. So the sunset is coming in 40, 50 minutes, give it or take. Hey, will you look at that? A mountain shelter. There's some garbage here. I thought I could sleep here, but no. Well, I'm not going for sure because it is at 1900 meters elevation and it's going to be too cold, I think, at night. Yeah, it might be freezing here at night, and I would like to have slightly higher temperatures at night, so I'm going to drop some elevation and kind of get away from the mountains. Oh, it's getting really cold. Well, it's time for me to drive for a little while, drop some elevation, and find a camping spot. Alright, guys, this is how my sleeping area in the car, inside the car, looks like. So I have two sleeping mats. This one is kind of like an accordion style, and this is an inflatable mat, and on top of it there is my sleeping bag. Hopefully it's not going to be too cold throughout the night, and I will show you the location tomorrow because obviously it's completely dark already. For dinner I'm having this freeze-dried meal, trekking it. These are not my favorite. I really like real tourmat, but these are all right. You can definitely eat them, enjoy them as well. Just real tourmat was not available in the outdoor store in Lisbon, where I bought these. Okay, that was an interesting day. And good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, morning. The night was quite cold, although with temperatures a bit above the freezing point, and I got warm and comfortable pretty quickly in my sleeping bag. For breakfast, I'm going to have this freeze-dried meal, which is from Performance series. I will not finish it probably. It's 1000 calories. It has cleared up a bit, so I can show you around my car camping spot. So, still kind of in the mountains, but definitely quite far away from yesterday's locations and definitely much lower in terms of elevations. For today, my plan is to visit a couple of places here, probably within Serra da Estrela Mountains. They are about fall colors, about possible fall colors. From what I know, Portugal can't really offer much yellow autumn vibes and colors. Like, for example, where I live in Lisbon area, you can see occasional separate trees getting yellow or maybe even red, but probably in November, December. But if we're talking about groups of trees or like something like groves, groups of trees, you can't really find them in that area. But here, this area is kind of known for being able to offer some fall colors. And I am here in November, which is considered to be the best time for finding those colors here. So let's just start walking. We'll see if there are any yellow trees around here. I think all these yellow trees so far are birches. Not totally sure, but probably these birch trees are already a bit past the peak in terms of fall colors. You know what? I can actually feel late autumn. The smell of falling leaves, humid air. And I believe there is a presence of some large trees here. Wow, I really like this composition with these curved trees. Gonna try to photograph it. I think it's a very classy one. That is a bit unusual place for Portugal. Really hard to leave it behind, but it is time to go further. I had lunch in Manteigas and I still have one thing to do today. This is São Lourenço Woods hike, and the hike starts right here and it goes all the way over there. That's where you can see all the yellow trees, I think. And I don't have much time because it is 3:30 p.m. already and I'm starting right away. So as I'm walking, I'll show you. You can see these tree trunks. That's probably after wildfires. Portugal suffered quite a lot from wildfires last summer. I think 2% of Portuguese territory has burned. Yeah, can you imagine that? Oh yeah, it has started. What they say is that the trees that are growing here are Oregon pine, all of a sudden, and beeches, Beeches. So it's getting late. I'm thinking of turning around. Maybe I'll come back here tomorrow. There is a dog out there. Feels like he doesn't care about me. Hello, sir. I'm a nice person. At least you might say so. Alright, that was quite an impressive day. Lots of fall colors. I'm satisfied, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Oh hey, morning guys. This night was definitely colder than the previous one. At first I was pretty comfortable, but then closer to the morning I got cold, definitely. So I'm going to have my breakfast now, and I'm hoping for a cup of nice Portuguese hot coffee in manteigas after the breakfast. I'm back at São Lourenço Woods now, and I have changed the lens on my camera. Now I have a wide-angle lens on my camera, and it doesn't have image stabilization, so only the IBIS of the camera works now. Maybe I'll do some photography here, because this hike can offer some wide-angle compositions for sure. At the end of this hike, there is a viewpoint, Miradouro de Manteigas, overlooking Manteigas. This is quite interesting. They say because of the excellent air quality here in Serra da Estrela Mountains and around, this area was used for tuberculosis treatment. Can you imagine that? Maybe in the beginning or in the first half of 20th century. Actually, about a year ago, I stayed in a hotel not far away from here, also in Serra da Estrela Mountains. And maybe 70, 80 years ago, that hotel was used as some sort of a long-term hospital for Portugal railroad workers suffering from tuberculosis. You know, they were sent there to maybe relieve their symptoms or to possibly cure them. I'm not sure if that was possible. The parking lot is so full. Buses are here. I've seen 3 groups of kids, like 50, 60 kids per group, hiking down that route. Before heading home, I have only one thing left to check out. This is the village with the name Piódão or Piódão. There is one particular aspect that is quite interesting about this village. So I'm going to have lunch and then hit the road. This is going to be quite a long drive. Oh, finally I got to Piódão. it's a viewpoint. And to be honest, those mountain roads are wearing me out, really. The slopes are so steep here, so many winding roads. And you know what? It all looks so dark and rugged here, these mountain slopes, these black trunks of the trees, probably because of the wildfires that occurred here last summer. Yeah. Well, actually, guys, I only have like 20 minutes until sunset, but I want to wander the streets of Piódão a little bit, so I'm going to drive down to the parking lot and maybe see what's in the town. It was evening already, last sunlight on the hilltops, dark-colored houses and scorched mountain slopes were bringing some mysterious, even a bit spooky vibe. Well, this is how it looks like. The village almost entirely made of schist or schist. I think it's schist. Yes, so this dark gray stone, as you can see. Yeah, unlike the majority of Portuguese villages, which are made of lime, from what I know, you can see those white houses everywhere, basically. Blue doors and windows. Maybe it's a cultural thing. The thing is, it was actually relatively easy to get schist from the surrounding mountains. And at the same time, you probably saw that on the previous footages, the village is standing on very steep slopes, and that makes it very isolated. And thus, it was very hard to bring here any other material, like lime, for example. So it is quite isolated now. I could feel it with those mountainous, winding roads. But you can only imagine how much more isolated it was in the past. All right, guys, that's it for me. Finally, I'm heading home. This is going to be a long drive, but thankfully a big part of it is going to be on the motorway. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.